Hey besties, this is Chris. Today I'm going to show you how to sculpt acrylic nails using a nail form. Now, this can be a tricky technique, but if done properly, it will become one of your favorites when it comes to styled nails. Let's get started. Okay everybody, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your client sanitizes their hands and you as well sanitize your hands. And then we're going to go in with the cuticle pusher and push back the cuticles. And you want to make sure you get all of the dead skin off the nail plate so it prevents lifting. Now I'm going to go in with my medium grit sanding bit and I'm going to lightly buff the top of the nail plate just to remove the shine. And go ahead and dust off any excess dust that's on the nail. Now if I was going to put a tip on this nail, I would wait till after I'd adhered the tip and then I would put on the bond and the primer, but since we're going to be doing a form in this video, I'm going to go ahead and apply it now. So first you're going to apply your bond and let that dry, and then you're going to go ahead and go in with your primer. And this is going to properly dehydrate your nail plate for proper adhesion. So now I'm going to remove my form from the paper backing, and it comes with a little sticker. So that's going to give strength to the back of this form. And I'm going to go ahead and roll it so we get that nice C curve. So when I'm placing my form, I like to have my client angle her finger downwards so I can look directly at the front of the nail plate. And then I'm going to line up the middle of the form and slowly rock it back into her nail. Press the sides together, pinch the bottom, and then make sure everything is nice and secure. If you're using a shorter form and you're wanting to do a square or a tapered square, you would leave the end of the form open. If you are doing a coffin or stiletto nail, you want to pinch the end of the nail so it gets that nice point. Also, on some forms you can see that there's numbering. This allows you to be consistent with the lengths of your nails. If you all want them the same length, you can go to the number that you decide. So forms are ideal when you have a client with bitten nails. It's really hard to put a tip on a bitten nail because you don't have a lot of available nail space for the acrylic to adhere, and that would cause lifting if there's not enough that's attaching to the nail plate. So for this nail, I'm going to be sculpting a tapered square, and I'm going to be using Glam & Glitz glitter acrylic in Adore. It's from the Diamond Acrylic collection. It's a very, very beautiful rose gold glitter, and everyone loves it. So I like to rotate my glitter powders just to dispense the product and make sure that it's nice and even. And what I like to do to start out a sculpted nail is I like to take up a little tiny bead and reverse place it into the free edge. So by doing this, it creates a sealed lip underneath the free edge so that you don't get any snagging that's common in a lot of form applications. So now I'm going to pick up a bead and I'm going to start building my free edge. And make sure you watch your side walls and keep those nice and straight, and use the body of your brush to push the acrylic where you want it to go. Now when sculpting a nail, you want to make sure that you're looking at your nail from right and left and straight forward to make sure everything's nice and straight. And if you do have a little mishap, you can always just fix that in filing. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick up another bead, and this is going to go on my nail plate. And then go ahead and use the tip of your brush around the cuticle area, and then kind of work the acrylic down towards the free edge. Now when you get to the apex of the nail, which is the bottom 2/3 of the nail, you're going to want to leave that a little bit thicker. That's where your stress point is going to be, and that's where forms tend to break, so you don't want to make that too thin. Okay, so now that I have my foundation down, I'm going to wait till it dries a little bit, and then we're going to pinch with our fingers. So when you pinch a nail, you're creating a C curve, which is going to add strength to the nail. Now when you're doing this, you don't want to be too aggressive because you can over pinch and it can harm the nail. And you can pinch with your fingers, and you can also pinch with pinching tools. So when you have your pinching tool, you want to place it right at the sides. And you don't want to go on the finger and you don't want to go too low, just right where it meets. And go ahead and leave that for a few seconds. Here you can see the apex of the nail where it's thicker. You want to go a little thinner towards the cuticle, and as the nail tapers off, it gets thinner at the end. And this is where your strength is going to be, right here. Now I'm going to check that this is dry, and that sounds pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the form. And I like to pull the tabs down and pinch towards the middle and pull it out. Now with doing a form, when you turn the nail over, you get that glass effect underneath. Isn't that cool? So now I'm gonna go ahead and shape and file my sidewalls, and I'm gonna clean up the cuticle with my e-file so we can get that nice and straight. Some people like to use tips and some people prefer forms. As you go through your career, you'll see what works best for you. And even people that prefer tips, in some cases a form is just necessary. So it's really good to have this knowledge in your bag, just so whenever it comes up, you can be ready to conquer it. I personally love to use forms when I'm doing long stylized nails, such as stilettos or coffin nails, or when I'm doing like really intricate designs that are inlaid in acrylic. It's really cool because when you use a form, you can see the design from the front and the bottom. So it's like a glass nail when you use forms for designs. Okay guys, now that we have that nice and filed and buffed, it's my favorite part! KiaraSky non-wipe top coat. Now this top coat, as soon as it cures, it doesn't leave a sticky inhibition layer. So as soon as the light goes off, she's good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and apply that from cuticle to free edge. And look at that shine. That is why I love these powders. And we're gonna go ahead and put that in the lamp for 60 seconds. Okay guys, so that's how I sculpt using a form. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you guys next time.